Hello. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It is that time. Let's do this. There we go. Got the lights on now. That's better. How is everyone? We're doing our chill Friday instead of Sunday thing that we're going to try out now for a little while. While we were offline, Slaps Hungry Bears, who has donated far too many times this week already, gifted 12 tier 1 subs, which I've already added to this thingy, and said, my job is horrible, my pay is good, I got paid. More grink for the dragon horde. Seriously, glad to be part of this community despite being a vampire. Oh, thank you. You're probably not here right this moment, but it is very appreciated, and I need to catch up on uploading the VODs so that people can see these messages after the fact. What's up, NBJ? And Nuvenal and Timerinia and Hollow, how's it going? It is cold in South Topeka. Is that a joke about, what was that, like Billy and Mandy? Like, it is hot in Topeka. Anyway, welcome in, everyone. We are just gonna do our normal, like, chill bit at the beginning here for a little while, and then when we get ready and riled up, we're gonna do some conversation about a little bit about Tucker Carlson. That's the one thing that I missed in the segment last night because we talked about Tucker Carlson last night, but I've been wanting to avoid talking about the big booba teacher, and now I'm just like, I should just fucking talk about the big booba teacher and fucking upload a segment about it, because that's like what's popular right now, and just because I don't want to give it attention doesn't mean that it's gonna make any difference. What's up, Anansi? And Force Cat Animations in the YouTube chat. Ooh, you got a new Sneck. He came with a dog name, so I'm going to rename him. Nice. Because at noon, bring out Mittertag. His Mittertag actually, like, noon, like midday. Mittertag. I don't have that one. I only have the dark one. Are you saying that I need to get a fat white cat to counterbalance him yin-yang style? Like, no. Quite. So if you're here and you have not yet hit like on the stream, please consider on the YouTube page hitting like on the stream real quick. Even if you want to hang out on the website chat. We love the website chat. More of a time-sensitive naming scheme. I mean, because I named him Mitternacht because of the fact that him a black cat, you know. But he's chilling. He's sleeping on my bed right now, having a good old time. I'm enjoying hanging out with him for now because I am not bringing him with me when I move. So I'm going to see him sometimes, but I'm not going to be like around him every day. And I think it's going to be the most alone time he's ever had in his life, because I realized recently, like, right now is actually the most alone time he's ever had before, because he's always had a bunch of other cats around. So even if we go on, like, a several-day vacation, there's always the other 2 cats, or previously, like, the other 1 cat. But now, like, you know, we're gone on the weekends for most of the weekend doing Renaissance Festival shit. And Mitternacht is just by himself all day. He's just chilling. And he seems like he's okay. Like, he doesn't seem particularly stressed, I guess. Like, he's not peeing on stuff he's not supposed to pee on or anything. So, yeah, he mostly just wants to lay on the bed all the time, which they didn't used to get to do as much as they do now. But yeah, once I bounce, he's going to be, like, alone time central, because my partner works a full-time job. So kitty cat's going to have a lot of alone time. I think it's going to be all right, though. Speaking of me moving, there's a GoFundMe, because I'm going to need some help getting a deposit fees stuff together, and also buying a bed and like a toaster and other shit like that that I just don't have copies of myself. What's up, Creature of the Fae? I actually caught you before I go to work. Nice. Yeah, we're still warming up. We're getting this thing started. It is early on in the thing. And this may be a kind of short one, just because, like, streaming 2 days in a row is, like, a lot. And I still have a lot of other shit to do today as well. Like, I have cleaning to do. I have laundry to do. Like, it's going to be a busy day. I got a pumpkin frappe and also a chocolate caramel brownie chocolate bar and got a slight headache. Was it a cold headache, a cold frappe and like ice cream bar induced headache, or was it like a sugar problem? Person, what's up, says, I was actually going to ask you to cover the Mommy Milkers. Glad I caught this. Yeah, I think we'll talk about that first. Like, we're vamping at the beginning of the stream right now. But when we actually do get into the stuff, I think we'll talk about that first. Yeah, mommy, sorry, mommy. I got to go to work in less than an hour because I like to arrive at the hospital early. That seems like a good call, you know, arriving early. Also, person in the YouTube chat, are you the same person who sometimes sends super chat in Alt-Shift-X live streams, or is that a different person called person? Maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about, in which case, don't worry about it. But yeah, we're going to talk about the Mommy Milkers. We'll get around to it. No, yeah, Alt-Shift-X is on YouTube. It's a live streams from him on YouTube. Hello, Max. Hello. You rarely have an opportunity to enter stream with us, so I appreciate that you have the chance today. It's Europe Day in Luxander chat. And what's up, Beanie? Sorry, how's it going? If you are just coming in and you have not yet hit the like button on the YouTube page, please consider doing that. It's free and it helps the channel. It's cold outside, but when you walk around a bunch and come back, you sweating because the apartment is still 77. I was like upset earlier. Not like upset. I get like anxious, and I was pacing earlier. Slaps Hungry Bears, I'm glad that you're here because I already thanked you earlier for the fucking 12 gifted tier 1 subs, but now you're here and I'm thanking you again where you can hear it. So thank you. Jesus Christ. Mommy Milkers segment brought to you by popular demand. My shock and surprise. But yeah, I was like, oh, I was getting too warm, like overheating a little bit earlier, pacing around in my like 75-degree apartment with like sweats on and stuff, you know? That's how it goes. It do be like that sometimes. Deep Scandinavian breathing, trying not to give an elaborate answer to how you doing. Yeah, I know how that goes. I'm like having a really complicated time right now. Sometimes I'm like, I'm having a great day. Sometimes I'm like, I'm having a very shit time. And it's kind of hard for me to predict which way it's going to go. And I'm like trying to be mindful and, you know, sort of choose to think about mostly positive things. But, you know, it's hard sometimes. It's hard to be a lizard. Classic Bo Burnham. It's hard to be a lizard. And it's like in the background, like, ah, tiny arms, itchy gizzard. Anyway, it's hard to be a lizard, but it's harder to segue. I'm hard when I'm a lizard. That would be, that's a very interesting kink. I mean, is that like you're a scaly who's also like into the sex part of the scaly? I'm glad that it provides some comfort, Anansi. We are hanging out. I know it's like the work day for a lot of people. It's the evening time for the Europes. The Europes always miss out on our streams earlier in the week because we start at fucking midnight in UK time. Oh shit, my husband collapsed at work this week, so we're going to be going to the doctor to hopefully get started on getting him a mobility device and mayhaps a parking placard. That sucks to hear that he collapsed at work. I'm glad that you're seeking the things, and I hope that you get them, the things that help. Me and husband are going on a date tomorrow for the first time since the pandemic started. I'm excited and had to share. That is awesome. I'm very excited for you. Very glad to hear it. you know, it's good to hear that someone's relationship is going well. Yeah. Are you going to a restaurant, or are you going to a movie or something? I think I've been to a movie since the pandemic started, but it's been a while. I don't really do restaurants though. I might do restaurants if you could eat outside. That might be something I could do. At a restaurant. Nice. Our apartment is not super wheelchair friendly, so it might be a big fight with landlord. Yeah, probably gonna have to look for a place that's more designed to be ADA compliant, you know? Holy shit, 2 of my partners are sick with COVID now, and I'm going to have to find new work soon, so my days aren't super happy. I am sorry to hear about that, Timerinia. I'm sitting here like, I'm gonna start a Fansly. That's something I've decided to do. Kind of how like Conyer, it's like OnlyFans, but not OnlyFans. Like it's not exactly the same thing. But like Conyer posts pictures of like their outfits, like they're like kind of sexy looking goth outfits, but it's all safe for work content. And I'm like, that's a spectacular idea. I'm gonna do exactly that. And I think I might even do it on Fansly instead of OnlyFans, so that I don't hurt my potential to get a job later, because OnlyFans has way more name recognition. You know? Eating without children will be amazing. Yeah, I bet they take a lot of attention away from the meal. My feet have been hurting less due to wearing foot inserts. Don't know why I started going without them. You know, my partner just got some really nice leather boots for the Renaissance Festival, and I was kind of wondering like if I should get him some inserts to make them like more comfortable to walk around in. Don't know. Hollow is depressed, just wants to sleep, TBH, but the system says no. Yeah, that's annoying. I understand that feel of being like, I would like to sleep all day. I actually like can't. I wish that I could sleep all day, but it's really difficult. I love them, but they are devils also, the children. Did you see Bernadette Banner's saucy ankle OnlyFans? I didn't, but that's really funny. Bernadette Banner is a sewing YouTuber. She does like Victorian looks, and she like talks about Victorian fashion and kind of explains the sewing aspect of it a little bit too. So she started a OnlyFans for showing off her ankles, because that's what would have been saucy in Victorian times. That's pretty cool. I find that really amusing, actually. That's pretty cute. But yeah, I wear these outfits and I'm like, damn, like my ass looks great in these pants, and I would love to post it somewhere, but like posting it on Twitter seems kind of inappropriate. So I'm like, okay, if I have a website, like subscription thing, and maybe even the ones that are like more skin tight ass pics, I can be like, oh yeah, that's like, you pay like a one time in addition to your little subscription thing. I don't know how it works really, but I'm looking into it because I don't want to have to get a job, is what I was leading up to. Because someone earlier said that they were, Timerinia said that you were going to have to find new work soon. I'm like, I'm trying to diversify my online content before I go toward finding a job. Like I would rather just beg harder for donations and like start selling merch and stuff, which I am working toward doing. It's a process. Finally starting to fix up our room that was making a bit of living hell for some of us, so that's good, I guess. Yes, that's good. I'm trying to clean too. Cleaning is fucking hard. Not just cleaning too, but like I'm not like gonna move until like November probably. November or December, but like I'm packing still. I'm like, I gotta get this shit organized. Like, I want as much of my stuff as possible to be just like ready to go. Ooh, person said, I just got new isopods, Cubaris murina papaya. They are the only pink ones in the world, and they are so small and need a lot of boops. I would so buy merch, by the way. Cool. Yeah, I just always want to do it like through a non-shitty company, you know? Like I could technically start a store on a shitty company. But I would rather like I know someone who does that locally. I would rather like go through the slightly more expensive local option and support small businesses, you know? But yeah, Cubaris murina papaya. Cubaris murina papaya. Those are like, they look kind of similar to rubber duckies, don't they? But they are like a peachy, salmony pink color. I think that my partner has some of those. Papayas? That sounds familiar. Phlegm is literally the stupidest human evolutionary thing. Haha, you ate too much sugar, almost threw up. That's not good. Peach and a bit see-through. Yes. Yeah, those are cuties. I think my partner has some. I think that, like, it's not that, you know, one of his cultures, like, all of the adults have died, but there are a bunch of babies still. Mine are all doing very well. I should get a, like, macro lens for my phone, probably. That would be the way to do it, so that I can actually show you pictures of my isopods. But these are my isopods in those containers. And the middle one is Porcellio pruinosis orange cream, and they are so prolific. Like, there are so many of them in such a short period of time that I'm gonna, like, I think I'm gonna actually get a terrarium, like a bigger terrarium to put them in, so that they actually have space. Because right now it's pretty absurd. They do not have space. Anyway, and I think, like, you know, because they are like ground creatures, I'm like, what if there were like, what if I built something higher up that there was like more soil and leaves up top there to give them more like space to actually exist on? Because any container I get is going to be taller, and I don't really need it to be taller if they are ground dwellers, you know? I don't know. Mine all live with my hermit crablets in a bioactive. Also, so do the terrarium. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't want a complicated terrarium, and I haven't even decided if I want to put plants inside of it, because if I put plants inside of the terrarium, then it's always going to need a light, which means it's going to take up a outlet in the house. Do you know what I mean? No, sorry, Andy's Mints. No, I was not talking about humans when I was talking about there being a bunch of babies and all the adults having died. The thing is that when isopods give live birth, like their little the roly-polies, isopods is what we're talking about, roly-polies, they give live birth, and when they're gravid or pregnant, they have like a chest sac that you can see. Like, if you pick one up and look underneath it, you can tell if one has it and one doesn't. So they kind of like give birth through a chest burster sort of process, and sometimes they die when that happens. Like, it's not uncommon. So he just has this one culture that all of the adults, every time they've given live birth, have died. So there are a shit ton of babies, but there just aren't any adults anymore. So that's fun. It's not the Cubaris though. Person, do you know off the top of your head what the full scientific word is for the rubber duckies? Because I know it's Cubaris, but I can't remember what the other part of it is. Anyway, we have 27 concurrent viewers here listening to me talk about bugs. Will you all consider hitting the like button on the YouTube page? It's free. It helps the channel. We've been going for about 20 minutes. This is probably going to be a relatively short stream. So, like, maybe we'll get into talking about the actual news before too terribly long. And whenever we get a slight influx of likes, we get a slight bump in viewership, because it tells YouTube, hey, show this to other people. Directly, there's like always a direct correlation between a couple more likes and a couple more viewers. Thank you, Slaps Hungry Bears. Yeah. I was in a bad relationship towards the end of 2020 and ended up homeless with one of my partners until earlier this year. Basically just throwing money your way because I honestly wish someone did the same for me. I mean, to be honest, it's been like a concern, you know, like the GoFundMe is not going like as quick as I thought it would. It's okay. I still have a little bit of time before it's utterly necessary to have all that extra money. But like, yeah, no, like, to be honest, like, it is a concern. I am the low income person in the relationship. And I'm like disabled, and I'm trans, and I'm autistic. So I'm like really not trying to get a regular job. At this point, you know, it's been 10 years that I've tried to have regular jobs, and they've all kicked my ass, and I give up. So I'm just going to try to be self-employed. And that means being, entertaining enough to warrant donations. You know, that is what it is. The job is be informative and entertaining enough to be worthy of the tips. I work for tips, baby. And we're diversifying, you know. We're going to keep doing more different stuff. Yeah. So I think that is a good time to do one last beg for likes. If you haven't yet hit like on the stream, do that on the YouTube page. It's free. It's quick. We'll help get a couple more people in here before we start talking about Big Mommy Milkers. I'm ready. I'm so ready. Let's get the news together. Why has this... Okay, we know what. We're going to just refresh. And we're going to pause that. Right? Okay. Are you going to load? Let's see. Anyhow. Ooh, there's a cat. Ooh. Maybe I should do a cat moment real quick before we start the segment. Ooh. Let's do a quick cat moment. Well, no worries, person. It was the first batch of adults that have all died. Like they didn't have an established culture. It was all the adults from the batch that he got from the person who sent them, you know? So now we're going to see how it goes with all of them. Cubaris SP. What is SP? Is that for something? Anyway, I'm going to grab this cat and we're going to have a kitty cat moment, and then we're going to talk about Big Mommy Milkers and Tucker Carlson and all that shit, okay? Hey, kitty cat. Hi. Oh. He hates this. He does not like it very much. Are you, baby? Hi, baby. Are you tolerant? Are you momentarily tolerant? Oh, that's very sweet of you. Oh, thank you. He's leaned his head against my head. He's a good baby. Are you, baby? He's like, I have tolerated this for as long as I can. No? You're so good. Okay. Thank you. He's a big fatty, and I love him. Never say that. Never say Big Mommy Milkers and Tucker Carlson again. Oh, okay, so it's just Cubaris species, like... Yeah, it's a cursed thing that I have said. Whoa, sir, come on. He's knocking the water dish around like a gigantic weirdo. Kibby. Kibby. Yes, Mommy Milkers. Okay. We got to get on it. We're ready. We're ready to do it. Oh, I'm going to need my headphones for this. That is a thing that I'm going to need. Oh my God. Ah! Headphones are all tangled up. Stop it. All right. Big Mommy Milkers teacher. Shop teacher, apparently. So, okay, we're gonna have photos and everything in here. Hopefully this isn't too lewd for YouTube. I can censor it later, but Jesus Christ. So I keep seeing this thing on Twitter, and at first I genuinely thought it wasn't real. I was like, this can't be real. This has to be fake. It was like, or I mean, like, actually what I really thought it was a picture of a teacher, like an adult, with like a blonde wig, presumably, and like in feminine clothes, wearing like huge, gigantic, unreasonably proportioned prosthetic breasts, or presumably prosthetic breasts. Now, what I thought this was at first was like, did anybody else's high school have like Spirit Week? And during Spirit Week, you would have like wear your pajamas day, or like crazy hat day, and shit like that. At least one of my high schools, they had a cross-dressing day, and like the sports teams would be like, the guys would come in the cheerleaders' outfits and the girls would come in the shoulder pads and the uniform for the footballers, you know, and then like cross-dressing was one of the funny theme days in Spirit Week at various points. So honestly, that's what I thought this was at first, if I'm just going to be totally honest. I thought I thought it was a joke, is to say. But apparently it seems like this might be like a real thing that happened and is not just a joke. Ariel, we're talking about the Big Mommy Milkers right now. We're about to look at this article. So I loved that cross-dressing stuff. The girls actually played football all dressed up in actual sports gear. That's cool. I don't think we did that far. The guys might have done a cheerleading routine of some sort, but I can't remember if the girls actually did anything in the football gear. But yeah, so I earnestly thought that this was just being done for a joke, but it seems like this might actually be a trans person. So I wanted to look at this article a bit here. School defends gender rights of trans teacher with giant prosthetic breasts. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna have to censor this for YouTube later. So for now, like, let's hope that I don't get caught out for it, because it is, like, in my mind, borders on being kind of inappropriate, and at least I think that, you know, YouTube would potentially flag it as inappropriate. So a Canadian school board is standing behind a trans teacher who sparked protest after turning up to classes with, quote, clownish giant prosthetic breasts. The blonde high school teacher went viral after being filmed operating a cutoff saw in class while wearing tight black shorts and balloon-like breasts drooping around the waist in a tight striped top. There were images taken by pupils at the school in Canada showing that the same teacher in other outfits with huge nipples protruding from the fake bust. And we're about to get to the picture part. Like, obviously you can see this, you know, Tucker Carlson thing right here, which we will watch in a second. But for now, the school district confirmed that the person getting the attention online was a high school teacher. They refused to identify the educator while warning that the wrong person had been named in online reports. Some disturbed pupils have skipped classes held by this teacher, who began identifying as female last year. So this is the person that we're talking about here. This is the Big Mommy Milkers in question, all right? So, oh wow, apparently one pupil said, the kids here most definitely don't think it's normal, but realistically we can't say anything. I don't think the school can fire the teacher. There have been protests and angry complaints, apparently. Here's another picture taken by a student. There have been phone calls made to the school that haven't been the most pleasant. The board was creating a safety plan to make sure the teacher is protected. Apparently protecting gender rights is the stance that the school board is taking, and they are standing behind the teacher. Okay, so here's a bigger picture of her operating the saw. Now, this does seem to me like, I mean, like, I personally wouldn't consider that a super safe operation. If, like, I mean, I don't know, I guess the titties are so far down her body that her arms are fairly unencumbered. Like, if they drooped less, then they would be in the way more. I don't know. This teacher is an extremely effective teacher. All the kids love being in the class. There had to be some disconnect because pupils recorded the teacher in the class. Someone said it's clownish. It seems sexist because of the exaggerated nature of the breasts with nipples protruding. I think a lot of young women at the school wouldn't just feel uncomfortable. They'd feel mocked. So here's the thing. Like, I was actually about to say, she insisted a school would equally be expected to step in if a teacher came in with natural breasts, nipples protruding, and a low-cut top and no bra. So that is one of the things I will say about this. Like, first of all, like, it is possible for human beings, even human beings who are thin-ish like this person, to have gigantic pendulous breasts like that. It's called, like, gigantomastia, I think is what it's called. Like, it's an actual condition where, and I think it's probably genetic, where you just have, like, enormous, gigantic titties. And it's not your fault and you can't control it. And if that person was a teacher, you know, there's already been some conversations about, hold on, let's see if we can find one. There have already been some conversations about, like, should this teacher get fired? Let's see. Oh, this is not, like, exactly the... Let's do NY Post again. Okay, so yeah, this is, like, one example. there have already been situations lately where teachers with exaggerated body features are being questioned for wearing, quote, inappropriate outfits. Like this teacher, like she just has a dumpy ass, like an extraordinarily large ass. So if she wears anything that's not like, look at that. Like, actually this might be like several different people. I was looking at the clothes and the ass and not the face. Or is this just the one teacher? But yeah, like it's like you cannot wear jeans without it looking crazy, right? And then she does wear looser outfits. Like this is a kind of looser outfit. This one's definitely a looser outfit. This skirt right here is a looser outfit. Like she just exists as a woman with proportions that are like very exaggerated. And there's not much you can do about that, right? Does she not deserve to be a teacher because of her body features, right? Like that's like, is it so much of a distraction and it's so inappropriate that she's not allowed to be a teacher? I don't think that's reasonable, you know? I do think that certain limitations are understandable. Like, for example, the nipples. I don't think the nipples are appropriate. And in particular, like the reason why ultimately I think I feel that way is because if I were a student, I would not, like if my nipples were visible as a student, I would be sent to the office and required to put on a bra or put on a jacket or something to cover up. Like I know what it's like because I was a female teenager, you know, I know what the rules being applied to you is like, and that's how it would go. Hit like on the video if you hate fucking sexism. Yeah, so I just don't think that if a student would get in trouble for this. I don't think that the teacher should be able to just have the nipples out. You can't do anything about natural gigantomastia, but like, you know, if her dysphoria is such that she's like, I feel like I should have titties this big, that's fine. I don't really care about the comical size of the breasts unless they present a danger in the shop environment. Like if she feels like she can do this safely, then sure. If it's going to be a safety issue, then maybe not. But like, as long as she's wearing a bra, in my opinion, that is like my official stance on this, is that I don't think should be penalized for having gigantic tits, whether they're natural or prosthetic. I think that she should wear a bra and cover her nipples. I don't think that that is something that people would generally consider to be professionally appropriate. And if the girls in the school would be penalized for just letting them sway out there with the nipples all hard, you know, like that teacher should be held to the same standard, whether cisgender or trans. Like I earnestly, like, this has nothing to do with her being trans specifically. Like any teacher with huge tits and like really prominent nipples should be wearing a bra in a professional environment like a school. Like, I think that that's fair. Yeah, someone said here, this has nothing to do with trans rights. It goes beyond an incident of wokeness or political correctness. I guess you could say, like, maybe I am inadvertently advocating for something misogynistic in the idea that, like, a woman's body should be covered up or whatever. But, like, I'm just saying with, like, the currently existing standards by which we go, you know, like, if the current standard is female students whose nipples are showing through their shirt are sent home, then the teacher should be held to the same standard, right? I guess I shouldn't say that I'm necessarily full-throatedly advocating that women's bodies should be covered up. I mean, her body is covered up. You can just see her nipples, the impression of them through her shirt. And like, is it okay that we consider that unprofessional? Like, that's a whole question that this kind of opens up. It just kind of like, it does create interesting conversations that we could potentially have on that regard, you know? I do want to watch this Tucker Carlson thing really quick, just to kind of respond to what he says, see if there's anything interesting in there. Yeah, and we'll make sure that volumes are okay. You just think those standards are bad? I just feel like she should use different breast forms. These are for the streets, not grading sheets. I think that's fair. Yeah. I can't necessarily argue that, like, you know, I think really that women's nipples shouldn't be visible through their shirt. Like, I personally might find it distracting because I grew up with that not being the norm, and because I am, like, attracted to people with titties, you know? Person says, I agree with this take, but also I think male nipples protruding constantly due to size or piercings would likely also be considered inappropriate in a school. I would agree. Like, I think that I would find that equally annoying as a student. Like, if your nipples are pierced, then they're, like, always hard. If I could see, like, the hard nipples and a nipple piercing on my male teachers, I would be like, get the fuck out of here with that. Like, come on now. Wear pasties or something. I don't get why a teacher would want to work dressed like that. I mean, I've got to assume that she's just got, like, an extreme amount of dysphoria and was like, I am gonna have the biggest titties that anyone has ever seen. I don't know. I can honestly, you know, I mean, I kind of, like, cheers to that, you know? Yeah, I guess I wouldn't necessarily say that I find it, like, personally uncomfortable, especially because I know that they're prosthetic. Like, if they were, I would probably honestly be more uncomfortable if I was like, those nipples could leak fluid, you know? Like, I don't know. That would probably freak me out more. It's just, like, by the current standards of professionalism, and, like, I would find it distracting, not necessarily uncomfortable. And I think that, you know, if that's the argument that gets made about dress code for students, the argument that gets made is that it's a distraction to other students. You know, short shorts, distraction. Spaghetti strap shirts, distraction. Nipples visible through the shirt, distraction. Teenage boys, you know, you have to protect them. It's definitely not reminiscent of purity culture at all. But yeah, that's just based on currently existing standards. I think that she should be wearing a bra. There you go. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and watch this Tucker Carlson BS. BS, sir. We already talked to you last night, but oh well. It'll be okay. We'll live. We'll live. I missed that someone tipped last night saying, OMG, yes, 3D printed armor. Yeah, I should print out some armor and try it out at least. All right. Let's do this and watch the silly band talk. Can we get, like, a full screen option? There it is. Do we have CC? Oh yeah, the CC's on. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do it.
Surfaced on the internet from a place called Trafalgar High School in Oakville, Ontario. That's right across the lake from Niagara Falls. These videos show a teacher called Stephen Hanna, who apparently has been employed at Trafalgar High for several years.
Is that the actual name? Like, is this, because is it a male teacher dressing up for, like, a fucking thing? Or is it, like, a trans teacher? Like, is it a male teacher making a fucking weird point? Or is it an actual trans person? Like, I think that's, I mean, like, did you just dead name the person? Like, there was not even a, oh, they go by this other name. Or no. Didn't we just read in this article that, we read in this article that, the person whose name has been popularized is not the right name. The school district said we don't want to name the teacher, but that you can't go with the name that you've been spreading. So is Tucker Carlson just engaging in that? Did he just straight up, like, warning that the wrong person had been named in online reports? I guess Tucker Carlson is just, like, misinformation peddling now. I mean, that's pretty standard. That sounds like about right.
Recently, Hanna decided to dress like a woman, or more precisely, as a grotesque caricature of a woman, not a real woman, but a kind of pneumatically inflated Marilyn Monroe lookalike. As part of his costume, Hanna strapped on a pair of gigantic prosthetic breasts, each the size of a 10-pound watermelon. We're not exaggerating here.
That's I'm in a meme group that's, like, making fun of Americans for, you know, like, using various objects as a reference for size, like the idea of like using a foot for size instead of, so it's like the 10-pound watermelon as a, oh my god, it's just ridiculous to me. Yes, I don't know how much they weigh each. How do you know how much a watermelon weighs by looking at it? So is there like an approximate size range that you just know what to look? I don't know. How does Tucker Carlson know what to look for? Are you a professional at growing watermelons, sir? Something makes me doubt that.
They're visible from at least 100 yards away, if not from space. We'll show you the picture we are right now on the screen.
Okay. Okay, well, don't start autoplaying whatever else you're going to do.
Video surfaced on the internet from a place called
Thank you. So yeah, I've basically like run through my opinion on that, which is that I don't really care about whether she's wearing the giant titties. I think that she should be wearing a bra, or otherwise making it so where the nipples do not show as much. And like, I mean, I don't really understand why you would wear the giant titties that are that giant, but I cannot like condemn this woman. I can't be like, she's a pervert, like terrible, like can't believe that she would do such a thing. The teenagers, think of the children. Like, no, like sometimes people just have actual bodies like that. So someone like modifying their appearance, whether through prosthetic or surgery, to have what is a totally pre-existing body type, gigantomastia or whatever. Yeah, I think there's not really a particular problem I have with that. Just keep the professionalism standards going, as far as treating the students and the teachers the same, you know? Yeah, and I will say, yeah, again, that the giant boobs do look pretty unsafe in that classroom. And I mean, they don't like look proportionate to her. Like, if she was my friend, I would be like, girl, it's like, this look is snatched. Is that right? Is that the way to say what I'm trying to say? Like, don't, please. So like sometimes there's not affordable bras for that size. I mean, yes, the is snatched a good thing? Okay, I can never fucking figure it out because I'm not steeped in the culture anymore. But yeah, I understand that it might be difficult to find bras of that size, which might be one reason to criticize wearing prosthetics that size. But like, you gotta wear pasties or something. Like, you gotta, you know, they make like for breastfeeding women, because sometimes you'll leak and then you don't want to ruin your bra. So they make these like circular, really thick pads that you just like put in your bra over your nipple so that when you leak breast shit, you'll like not have to clean it up or whatever and not ruin your bra. So you could just like tape one of those down. I would say that's effective. OC Sukara says, I was talking to a couple of friends on Twitter about news stuff, so sent them your Twitter. Thank you. I recently crossed 4,000 subscribers on, or not the followers, 4,000 followers on Twitter, which is pretty cool. And another thing that's really cool that you can directly help out with by hitting like on the stream and sharing with your friends and all that kind of shit, we are approaching 30,000, which I have hit twice and have lost twice. So I would love it if we could get the channel together to 30,000 subscribers. We're only about 100 away. And then if we could keep it this time, like we can keep that momentum going and keep growing the channel, like, yo, I would be so psyched for it. Previously, I've been like, I don't want to be too famous, but now I'm like, whatever, fuck it. You know, just like power through. We're just going to power through. We have you know, it's been a little while since we talked about it, but someday I will overthrow Vosh, right? Who even started that? Someone in the chat started that. They were like, someday Luxander needs to like usurp Vosh's channel. Who started that? I don't remember, but it's very funny to me. And I want to keep that part of the lore alive because it amuses me so much. Need to steal his channel. Hacked, son, you know? I mean, yes, you're right, Andy's Mints. There would be no pain if they cut them off with the buzzsaw if the prosthetics are just prosthetics, right? But, however, unfortunately, it still presents a danger Like, because then the shirt is caught in it too, you know? TBH, you've definitely been around longer than him. I mean, it's true. There's one number that's bigger. That's true. I've been making videos on YouTube since at least 2015. From before that, but I may have privated anyone's from before that. What's up, Nasty? Hope everyone is having a boobly night. Yes, we just got done talking about the booblies. And now we're talking about overthrowing Vosh because someone came up with that lore earlier this year, and I like to reignite it every once in a while. I don't remember you having a voice before, T. I occasionally will pull up one of the older videos just so that you can hear what my voice sounded like before, but I don't do it very often. It's not very often that I do that. Because I do think I ended up privating most of the videos from beforehand. Overthrowing the Vosh Legion would be tough. It's not that I am overthrowing the Vosh Legion. It's overthrowing Vosh and taking his place and his throne, you know? To me, even if there are people with bodies like that, emulating it is still hella weird. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I don't have to understand it. Yes, this is Mr. Atheist merch. He sent this to me. He's my friend. We're going to do a segment together at some point if I can ever get around to messaging him back. Because I am a person who... That's like the worst part of my job is having to talk to people in DMs. I hate it. But yes, we are also friends. But yeah, like Lillian said if there are people with bodies like that, emulating it is still hella weird. Like, there are trans women who, like, I mean, maybe, I don't actually know if this is the case. I can imagine a hypothetical trans woman who, like, wears a pad in her underwear once in a while. Like, I can imagine that, I don't know. I can imagine that people do all kinds of weird shit. I mean, like, trans men, like, shave their face while it's still a baby shave. Like, there's nothing to shave. And I'm like, I don't really get that behavior either. Like, these things that are, like, don't make much sense and might be kind of strange. Like, I just don't have it in me to care anymore. I just don't have it in me to judge that anymore. I'm just like, man, you do what you're going to do. I didn't mean man in terms in like a specific gendered way or anything, but... Yeah, intentions. That's basically where we landed. Like, I mean, where I landed at least. Like, the boob thing would be less weird if they were wearing a bra, but people don't sell bras that big, so I understand the barrier. I think you should wear, like, pasties or like I was saying that, like, you can get, like, a pad that absorbs breast milk for if you're breastfeeding and you don't want to leak into your bra, and, like, just tape one of those down. That would be good. Understand the difficulty in finding functional bras, but you're choosing to have those titties, you know? That's a choice. You could choose to have titties that it's easier to find a bra for, you know? Custom ones. Yeah, custom bras are very expensive. Yeah, absolutely. An r/a bra that fits challenge. I love r/a bra that fits. That's how I found out that I don't actually know. I might need to resize, because things go up and down with the titty size. I don't know if you're aware of that. Like, if you just have natural estrogen cycles, like, the titties go up and down. And right now, since I have the IUD, the titties might be, like, small and remain small. But at their most luscious, I have double Ds, which is kind of insane to me. I just have the same kind of broad distribution that trans women have, so you cannot tell. I'm like a double D member of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee. It's super weird. I know a trans femme who does the pads thing, and I did the shaving thing for a while. It does do minimal change to the look of your face. See? There you go. Yeah, pretty much intentions nasty. That's more or less what I'm experiencing. My titties have been deflating due to T. Went from double Ds to, like, D or bigger C even. Yeah, I might take a resizing soon so that I can continue purchasing bras that fit moving forward. Man, if I start the Fansly... like if I start the OnlyFans knockoff about like cute, sexy goth outfits, then like that'll be money coming in and an excuse to buy cute clothes, you know? Damn. And like cute bras and shit. That would be good. The way Hala feels about boobly is the same as it used to feel about undercuts a long time ago, so it's just like, it doesn't feel like it's meaningful. Yeah, Andy says, I don't like to shave my natural facial hair. Shows AFAB biological woman tiny facial hair. Yeah, Demonia, r/a bra that fits is, it's just like a really great community of people who talk about, you know, it's hard to get bras that actually work, and there are specific issues that you can have that make them harder to find. And then like, oh, there are certain styles of bra you should look for that will fit you better if you have tits that are like this or that. And I have difficulty finding bras that fit because I think it's because my mom started me on birth control when I was like 13. I think that fucked up my breast development basically. No, I don't hate it. Like I'm fine with my chest the way it is. Like I really like my body. It's fine. But like I have broad distribution. So like I have breast tissue up here instead of it being like all concentrated down here like it usually is for most people. Like most people, it's like, here's the titty, it's down here, but my titty are like all over here. So if I take a comprehensive sizing that accounts for that, I'm like a double D. But if I don't take a comprehensive sizing, I'm like a C cup. So, but C cups do work in certain styles of bra because those styles of bra are not made for me. Like if I buy a bra that's the correct size, I get this orange in a glass effect. So if you think about like, do I have a ball of any kind around here? I don't know if I do. If you think of like an orange and how an orange is round, you know. Oh, sorry. We'll move past it in a minute. But like an orange is round. And if you put it in a cup, like the orange is not going to fill the entire space of the cup. You know, it's going to be like a conical thing happening. And that's like a thing that could happen when you have broad distribution of your breast tissue. Like a lot of trans women have this problem because, yeah, most bras are meant for projection, like normal breast tissue placement. So it's hard for me to find bras that fit. Anyway, I'll move past it now. A lot of root. Yes, exactly, Slaps Hungry Bears. Precisely. Hello, Jesse in the YouTube chat. Welcome in. Yeah, so I'm glad everybody enjoyed bra education hour. Yes, come to the website chat. If anybody on YouTube doesn't know, the chat that's on screen is not Twitch. I don't dual stream to Twitch. This is my website. So if you come to the website, you'll still be watching the YouTube video, but then you'll just see the better chat. What's up, Soy Boy? Welcome to the chat. What is going on? Someone's calling me. Stop calling me. Just turns phone off. Don't do it, okay? Don't. Don't even try to talk to me right now. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. God. Oh, yeah. Ruby, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate that. You're an MVP. It's super helpful. I am. If anybody here, first of all, if you're here, we're about to move into probably our next segment here in a minute. But if you just came in, hit like on the YouTube page, like on the video, please. Consider hopping over to the chat on my website, luxander.net. And if you didn't know, I am raising money because my partner and I, who have been together and living together for more than 10 years, are separating, and I need some help with the expenses and to buy a bed. Does the website chat play if my phone is on lock mode? I don't know. You'd have to find out because I don't use my phone for this. Seth says, I used to have breast forms and unfortunately pasties don't work to cover the nipples because of the material of the breasts. It stays hard and you can see the nipple outline still. Okay, well, just use some gauze then. Like I'll stick to my suggestion that you use like gauze or some kind of padded like bandage or something like that. You know, like if it would be expected of fucking anybody else, then it should be expected of you. And just because you're trans and they're prosthetics doesn't mean that typical standards of misogynistic professionalism should not apply to you. Okay? That's my opinion on the gigantic mommy milkers situation. That's actually like, sometimes I'm like, oh, that would be perfect as a short. That would be very, very funny and perfect as a short. So we'll just write it down. Is everyone enjoying that it's fall now? Because I'm pretty much thoroughly enjoying that it's fall now. That's a good time to me. Does the video and audio if my phone is locked? I don't have any idea, unfortunately. I can't believe you're already streaming. I just woke up. Yeah, Mickey, you know, normally on Sunday we do the noon stream, but because I'm working a part-time job right now on the weekends, I'm switching it to Friday for now so that the Europeans can still have a day. Like, so we're streaming, you know, it's nighttime in Europe, Friday night in Europe right now. Yeah, so I don't really go into like detail about any of these situations, but like, I will say like, we're separating. I don't know if we're getting divorced or not. So it's like, it's scary and weird. And thank you all for being kind about it. I'm hoping that it'll be okay. Like eventually, you know, like, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. For now, it's just going to be like, we're just going to live separately and see how that goes. But it's like, I got to find a new place to live and pay all the fees for that. And like, I realized that I'm like, oh, I don't have a toaster. Like the toaster is not mine, you know, like I have access to a toaster currently, but when I move out, I need my own toaster. Just all kinds of shit. Goodbye, Andes. Thank you for your dono. It does not show up on here, but it shows up on my phone. Mickey, thank you so much for the tier 2 sub. I appreciate that. The donos here and on the GoFundMe are all very useful. So that is... Oh, I can't do math. I needed to do plus 10, but also plus 5. 92. Okay, 692. Okay, I can do math. So embarrassing. I had to think about that for so long. But yes, thank you all. I appreciate you. I think it doesn't stay unlocked. Yeah, we're still working on the mobile website. Yeah, if you type !move in the website chat, there is a bot that posts out a link to the GoFundMe. Yes. So that's fun. It's like terrifying and exciting to be like, I'm going to live by myself for the first... I've never lived by myself is another thing about it too. Like I was living with my parents and then I moved in with my partner and that was over a decade ago. So, yep. Anyway, I think probably now I need to refill my water and then we'll probably do this reaction to the Anthony Padilla thing. Yeah, me too, Mickey. I hope that we can find a place easy enough for me and my isopods and my plants, and I will leave the cat here. That seems like it'll be easier to get an apartment that way. So, but yeah, I'm ready to watch this Anthony Padilla video. He says, I spent a day with trans men from mother to father is the like sub caption of this. So, if you're just coming in and you haven't yet hit like on the stream, please. We appreciate it. It's free. It helps the channel directly. I'm just going to step away really fast to fill up my water, and then we're going to react to Anthony Padilla video. So Anthony Padilla is very fun to say. Like, Padilla is just a good name. It's got, like, good echolalia. Padilla. Okay. Hello, Mixed Dizzy. Hello. Welcome in. We are just about to settle in and watch Anthony Padilla video. We just got done talking about the GoFundMe, and now we're going to switch back to talking about the news. If covering Anthony Padilla counts as news. I don't actually know if it does. You can basically add any D&D class to that name and it just works. Yeah, Padilla. Padilla. So good. All right. So Anthony Padilla, I don't think I've ever actually watched any of his videos. I know that he exists on the internet as a guy who does content that's like, in particular, I know that we have some plural folks, some systems who have talked about how his video about like, I spent a day with people with dissociative identity disorder, like that was a really good video. So I know of him and that he does like conscientious content that people have come to appreciate before. A few weeks ago, he did I spent a day with trans women. I haven't watched that one yet, actually. This is the first one that came onto my radar was I spent a day with trans men. I wonder if he'll do a non-binary one too. Like, bro, Anthony Padilla, if you want to fly me out to California, hit me up because I would love to like have more conversations with higher profile people about non-binary people. Like it's a special interest of mine. I love to talk about it and it would be great. But I do want to react to this I spent a day with trans men one. That is closer to my experience than the trans woman one. But if there is a demand, if you in the comments want me to do the trans woman video as well of Anthony Padilla's, then just let me know. And if you know him or his agent, let that person know that I've never been to California before. You know? So anyway, let us go to the video. I spent a day with trans men from mother to father, and let's make sure that the volumes are already good. Did he already do non-binary? Ah, shucks. Well, too bad. Why did he did non-binary first, and then trans men is his most recent one? That's really interesting. Okay, let's make sure the volume is good.
I'm Anthony Padilla, and I'm curious. What would you do?
Hold on. I'm still just getting the volumes right.
If you realized the label you were assigned at birth falsely predetermined every element of a life you could never see yourself living.
Okay, cool. I'll leave that volume up, and I'll just go ahead and start it over so that it is a nice clean beginning, okay? Oh, is he gay? Okay, cool. I did not know that. Oh, it was a while back. Okay, so he did non-binary a long time ago?
This show is sponsored by...
No, oh yeah, he did it like in 2021 in July. That was a long time ago. And then when is it? This one just came out just now. Well, we're much cooler, I guess. It's proof that it's much cooler to be non-binary. Anyway. All right, let's settle in.
I'm Anthony Padilla, and I'm curious. What would you do if you realized the label you were assigned at birth falsely predetermined every element of a life you could never see yourself living?
That sounds scary.
I spent a day with trans men who came to that very conclusion. We'll uncover the truth about giving birth as a teen mother and then later transitioning to a father and how that impacts a child. And from someone...
Oh, that's so sensationalist. Like, I know that he's going to be responsible based on his reputation, but it's like, it starts out a little bit sensationalist.
Who's presented...
His gender is gay, true.
As a woman and a man, a deeply polarizing topic of newly found male privilege.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Hey,
Emil.
how's it going?
Emil.
Jesse.
Hi.
Jesse. Okay.
Ty.
It's Ty. I love Ty.
And this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Visit betterhelp.com/Padilla because sometimes existing is exhausting. Now, can you
Fair
define what transgender means?
It's anyone who identifies as a gender that's different than what was assigned to them at birth.
It feels like you were born in the wrong skin suit. Everything on the inside feels right. It's just the outside.
Can you define
Yeah.
what trans man is?
We are men who were assigned female at birth and transition to male.
Do you remember the moment when you...
That's like some rapid fire. Let's get some shit out of the way really quick. What is a trans man? What is trans in general? Like, all right, I like doing good so far. Obviously, he's gonna loop to Ty for those kind of definitions in the beginning because Ty, like myself, is someone who has spent fucking years on YouTube explaining this shit to people repeatedly. So, God bless Ty. I love him so much.
you first had some kind of realization like this doesn't feel right?
first experiences. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh yeah, Anthony.
Oh, you know it's getting deep when they say my name.
Here it is. Ever since I was a little girl.
Oh, baby. Sorry for that one. Sorry. Sorry, I'll be appropriate.
I knew something was fucked up. I was always referred to as a tomboy as a little kid, so I thought I was a type of boy. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, you get it. Yeah, in my mind, a tomboy was a boy that was a girl.
I was raised like super religious.
That's interesting. Yeah, that like tomboy was just like the word to refer to someone who felt like a boy, but even though they were born a girl. That's interesting. Like that Ty like applied the word tomboy to himself in that context. Like he always knew he was a boy, so he just assumed that that's what people meant.
And mom would sit us on the bathroom counter every Sunday and get us ready for church. And as soon as she started curling my hair and putting bows in and dress, I would just bawl my eyes out. And I was like 4 years old.
Oh no!
Like, no, I'm a boy. This is wrong.
Yeah.
And then they're putting a dress on me. That's the thing that I'm identifying as wrong. Like as I got older and my body was maturing, then it became this deeper thing. Like physically, the shapes and the skin and the everything feels wrong because now I can identify that that's what that is. And I didn't even know the word transgender until I was an adult. I didn't even know that existed. I thought I was
Oh, no worries, Baphomet. Welcome in. Glad to have you here.
the only person in the world. And I remember like literally crying in my pillow at night. So I would beg God, like, please just tomorrow I'll wake up and I'm a boy.
Like the 6th or 7th grade.
That's not uncommon, I don't think, for religious trans people. I mean, whatever, if they grow up religious when they're younger, for them to pray to be turned into the correct gender. Yeah, I didn't have that because I was not like a strong believer by the time I realized I was trans, but yeah.
Teacher comes in and says, hey everyone, we're going to learn about puberty today. All the guys stay here and all the girls are going to leave and go to another room. So I stayed there. I was like, okay, like I'm ready. Let's hear about, you know, whatever this puberty thing is about. She said, hey, what are you still doing here? Like you should have been gone with all the other girls. I ended up going to the room with the girls. We watched some...
That sounds awful. That sounds awful, by the way.
90s video about what happens, you know, when females have puberty and all that. Honestly, my first thought was, this is terrible.
like this is terrible. This is a terrible thing. You know what? It's not even real. It's not even real. This type of thing does not happen.
Absolutely. I thought everyone was just making stuff up. I was in such disbelief. And I remember even making a comment to my friend like, ha, y'all are gonna have periods? There was such a disconnect.
Oh my God. That's so weird to me. Like, that's so interesting that people's like brain body map is so distinct. Like, I didn't have that because I do identify with femness and like female attributes to some extent. So yeah, that's really interesting. Like I didn't have that, and I find that fascinating and like the most like compelling argument, I guess, for trans people. Yeah.
Between, again, like how people viewed me versus how I viewed myself.
In school, they would have us line up in a boys' line and a girls' line to go to the bathroom. I refused to line up with the girls. And eventually it got to the point where this was an everyday thing and my parents had to have a talk with me. It was cute, you know, but it's time to be real. I am a girl and I have to function like one. And
that's
so
depressing.
When that happened, I was like, okay, well, I have a crush on one of my friends who's a girl, but boys date girls, so what's going on there? Me not realizing the weight of the fact that I had just came out. So I'm just like, no, never mind. Like I had no idea how bad all this stuff was that I was feeling. It was tough. I mean, it definitely took a toll on me. I had a lot of anxiety issues that manifested in different ways. Around the time that I started puberty, I developed facial tics. I think it was just generalized anxiety from all that. You know.
I don't think I knew that about Ty, or like if I knew it, it was a long time ago and I forgot. Like I didn't realize that he had tics as a teenager. Yeah, sorry about the dysphoria, everybody. If you're tired, no worries. Get out of here. Just take care of yourself, Dizzy. We'll see you.
You know, suppressing everything and then having that the change of my body confirming that I don't have any choice in this situation. I'm stuck in this body, in this role, and it's gonna happen to me this way whether I want it to or not.
What do you think were some of the toughest parts about puberty and having to really face throughout that time?
The periods are an obvious one because that's like every month and it's like a horror.
Mine are irregular, so it's like who knows when. Sometimes surprise.
movie. It's blood, and it's you know, you gotta deal with it. You can't write this stuff. What's the worst way to remind someone of what's going on down there? Just flood it with blood.
Yeah,
Send it off.
that's a good
Puberty
point.
hit, and that was probably one of the hardest times of my entire life. Even when I like got my period, I didn't tell one soul, because to me it literally felt like the worst punishment God could have given me.
Like, did you try to justify why God was doing this to you?
Yeah, I think I thought like, oh, because I had crushes on girls and stuff. I was raised so Catholic. Like, we went to these like churches where you gave confession on stage in front of
Oh, fuck
people.
that.
I would like remember thinking like, oh my God, hell's gonna hurt.
What kind of thoughts went through your head when you realized that you liked girls and you were not going to be, at least the sexuality, not what people expected you to be?
I think at the time, I was scared. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can be out and open at school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can be out and open with my parents. It's just this idea of like how much more complicated my life is gonna get by like accepting this and like actually living it. I feel
That's like the
there were
only
a lot-
choice in coming out. Like, you can't choose to be gay. You can't choose. I mean, like, you can't choose to be gay or not be gay. Like, you can't choose to be trans or not be trans. Like, the only thing is in the acceptance of it. You know, that's the only choice that you really make, is like, am I going to suppress and like pretend that this is not how I feel, or am I going to come out and run with it and live my life with these open difficulties, you know, like exchanging like personal comfort for maybe broader personal safety or whatever.
A lot of cards against me with actually like being able to live in my truth with that. First thing being my religion, you know, super Catholic. There was my culture.
Is that 2 Catholics in this? I came out as gay at the end of my high school only because I knew I didn't have to be there for too long. True.
Where being an immigrant from sort of like an Afro-European background, like that was just not accepted.
And that is the background that your parents came from. That is the culture that your parents were taught was the way that the world is.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously living with them, that bleeds into my own views, my own thoughts. So I'm thinking, you know, this is the last thing I need to be.
When did you first hear about the term trans?
I would say most people feel that way even without the religious background of like, this is the last thing that I need to have in my life. Like, this is the fucking last problem I need to have right now. Trans awakening.
I started making all these gay friends, and I started meeting trans people. And that's when I first started understanding like all those things that I've been told my whole life of like, oh, this is what a trans person is, you know, the word tranny and like how they're portrayed in movies and everything. I was like, oh my God, that is not at all what it is. And what these people are telling me is exactly what I feel. So that was the first moment that I was like, whoa.
I was in high school. I came to terms with myself that I liked girls. I was looking up what LGBT stands for because I was like, I don't really feel like an L, you know. I never called myself a lesbian because I didn't feel like a girl that liked other girls.
That's funny.
I would always just say I like girls. And I found transgender. I had no idea what it was, so I got on YouTube, as one does, and I found trans men. Their voices dropping, they're getting hairy, they're getting beards, they're getting muscles, and I was like, closed the laptop, pushed away, you know, terrified because it
Yeah, like, I can't deal with this right now. Like, nope.
struck something within me.
I want to be hairy. I want to be muscular.
I want the hairiest butt.
True.
Go to therapy, a gender therapist specifically. You know, I've been having these issues. I'm not comfortable in my body. I don't feel comfortable being called a lesbian. She literally like looks at me and says like, you have every single fact.
Oh, Intention says that's how I found you, Luxander. Just being like, I'm gonna go look up trans people on YouTube. The algorithm, the almighty algorithm brought us together. How old is Ty? I am not totally sure how old Ty is. I think he's in his mid to late 20s now, like similar age to me roughly, if not like perhaps a little bit younger, but yeah.
Of having dysphoria. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, no. And she's like, yes.
Uh-oh.
Pretty much after that session, I started doing research, reddit.com, you know, where everything is super
True.
Very accurate information. Just second to urbandictionary.com.
True.
I was like, okay, a licensed professional has told me this. I've always sort of known all of this, but repressed it. So now's the time to live my life.
2 years
True. A
later,
normal cis thing to do just to check I'm not trans.
I found out that transition was an option and something that existed when I was 14. Up until 16, I was aware, but suppressing it, trying my best to get around it and see what I could do to be happy as a girl, be a masculine woman. When we moved away in high school.
Oh, I am gonna cry. Uh-oh. Excuse me. Yeah, no, I think almost every trans person tries to be cis first. Like, tries to, like, for the trans men, it's like trying to find a way to be comfortable with femininity. Like, often there is like a hard femme phase, or like just trying to be like, okay, I can just be a masculine woman. Like, it doesn't matter. I'll just dress like a boy and cut my hair like a boy. And if people think I'm a girl or a lesbian, like, it doesn't matter. But no, it don't be like that. It really don't be like that. It really don't. Like, it don't work that way.
I started completely dressing as a guy, short hair, guy's clothes only, like very much presenting masculine to where everyone thought I was a guy, and I felt great. I was the happiest that I ever was when I was there. As I came to terms with being trans, all of those things started to make sense. Once you just allow yourself to feel how you actually feel, there's just so much peace.
Was it more difficult to come out to yourself or to others?
Definitely others. By the time I like finally accepted this, I was so ready. It was like I couldn't wait one more day. I felt this like insane amount of pride in who I was. I came out in the kind of an interesting way because I just decided I wasn't going to tell anybody. I was just going to do it on my own.
This is not
I just posted it
uncommon.
on Instagram. And I mean, within 20 minutes, my phone started ringing. Every sibling, they were not happy. It was like, why didn't you tell us? How did I have to find out this way? And I was like, it wasn't for you. It was for me. And this is exactly why I did it.
Coming out to my parents was the hardest thing.
This is exactly why I did it, because you felt entitled to this about me. That's I like that. I really like that response.
I crafted this text message up for a couple weeks, was thinking, okay, when I come out to them, I'm gonna get disowned. I'm gonna have to find housing somewhere else. Like, I drove short while away to this park where I felt like 100% safe. Like, and I sent this long text message. I had my car packed up with every single belonging I ever owned.
You were prepared to never have to go back if they never wanted to see you again.
Yeah, unfortunately. After a group.
That's really sad. I got surprised by that one. It really surprised me. I was about to like really start crying for a second there. Holy shit. That was really sad. Damn. I am glad that I was not worried like that about my parents. Like, I was not worried because I did not have Catholic parents, you know. That was whoo. Okay. Damn, Shawty, okay. I'm trying to cry on stream right now.
Grueling 10 minutes of waiting to see the response.
Which felt like an eternity.
Literally, they responded back to me and they said, you know, hey, we may not understand this, but we love you. Let's talk when we get home. And I was like, oh, I'm going home today.
The first person I came out to was
that's
my mom,
so hard.
on accident.
How does that happen?
We're in the car, and somehow the conversation came up about trans people. And I said, well, I've been watching these guys on YouTube, and it's amazing. They go on testosterone, they look great, they have muscles, they have a deep voice, and it happens so quickly, and you'd never know. And she's like, oh, is that what you want to do? And I was like,
oh shit, shit. Abort.
wait, what?
No, abort.
And I was like, you know.
Oh no. Oh, that's really funny. Shit, no. Hold on, let's do that again.
I said, well, I've been watching these guys on YouTube, and it's amazing. They go on testosterone, they look great, they have muscles, they have a deep voice, and it happens so quickly, and you'd never know. And she's like, oh, is that what you want to do? And I was like, oh my God.
No.
Wait, what? And I was like, you know, yeah, I think I do.
Oh my gosh.
What does transitioning entail?
It used to be a lot more methodical. You go on T for a year, top surgery. You continue T, and then maybe somewhere down the line, 10 years in, bottom surgery. Now, it's not so much like that. A lot of people are doing their own thing. For me, it's been almost 10 years of testosterone. I haven't had any surgeries yet, but I want surgeries. A lot of people think transition as a whole, the entire process is go to the doctor's office.
Yeah. Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
Snip, snap. You have no idea the toll. And then you come out and a completely different new gender. But the reason that people would want to wait There's a lot of reasons, I think. For me, a lot of it has to do with wanting to be in the right spot in my life. Surgery takes a big toll. You're gonna be down for a while.
True.
Takes a lot of money.
Like I want, like I want to get phalloplasty. That's gonna make like my left arm like not usable for a while. Like I'm gonna have to do physical therapy and shit in order to make sure my hand stays functional. That's cool. I finally called to start the process to get my consultation for phalloplasty, which is scary. I did that like this week. And so now I have to fill out new patient intake forms and then talk to someone about getting a consultation, because apparently consultations are booked out until 2024. So I figured if it's going to be over a year, I should probably fucking talk to someone about it and get on the books now, even if I still feel like kind of hesitant about the actual realities of having surgery, because it's a terrifying prospect. And like, I'm going to have a giant scar on my arm. It's not going to be pleasant. Anyway, let's continue.
Research. It's a big life decision.
Yes, exactly.
How often do you get asked about surgery?
All the time, especially if it's someone I haven't seen in a while. They're like, oh, Jesse, I saw you transition. Are you getting bottom surgery? People literally do that. I'll kind of laugh it off and I'll be like, you really shouldn't say that to trans people, but no, I'm not. What if I just walked up to cis people and started asking about their genitalia?
True.
That doesn't happen.
When some people hear...
I just have such a special interest response on the surgery thing that I'll be like, no, but I want one and it's going to cost $50,000. And I just like start talking about it.
That people don't feel like the gender that they were assigned at birth. They say, oh, just dress differently, just act differently. Like, why go through the process of changing your body as well?
There are different types of dysphoria. The social dysphoria of people believing I'm a woman and not recognizing me as a man. But I also have physical dysphoria with my own body and feeling that I don't want boobs.
Yeah, true.
What were some of the biggest things that really did make you realize, oh yeah, this is who I am, this is who I've always been?
Once I was on T, that first year, I was probably the happiest I've ever been. Just seeing myself change in all the ways that I had hoped that I would. It's like taking off a mask and seeing yourself for the first time.
Voice. It was like...
Oh, the voice was the biggest thing. The voice was honestly one of the biggest things for me, if not the biggest thing for me, TBH.
Ever. Facial hair, huge one. And starting to see like some muscle tone and stuff. And like even in my neck and my face, I was like, it was just like the best feeling in the world. I think I was feeling what most people feel every single day for the first time.
Is that the hormones going in your legs?
Yes, it is. I came out to my parents, and then like, I don't know, like a month after, I started hormones.
Your parents were like, whoa,
yeah.
whiplash.
I mean, they were like,
we're going!
There was a lot of apprehension on their end.
Yeah.
Because when I had come out to them, they didn't even know I was queer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you had to
so-
come out as straight, though.
Yeah. Well, one at a time. One at a
time. True.
time.
What were some of the most unexpected side effects of transition?
The butt hair.
The butt hair. Well, I have still not embraced my butt hair.
It's too itchy if I try to shave it, so what's the point of denying it? It's just like, you gotta accept yourself.
You're right. I think I'm just gonna have to accept it.
The horniness is so different.
Anthony Padilla is like, as a cis man, I have not yet accepted my butt hair. Like, he's in denial. That's a gay man who like gets waxed right there.
Like, as crazy as that sounds, like I do see why like there's that like classic thing that like all like men think about sex 100 times a day, because before testosterone I did not.
How many more times a day do you think about sex than you did when you were a woman?
Probably like 100 times more.
Like 100 times more?
Yeah, like I think about it all the time. I probably maybe once a day, maybe. And now it's like literally all the time. I still treat women with the utmost respect, and I would never hurt a woman.
Wait, you could be horny and treat people with respect at the
know.
same time?
Right?
What?
That's what I'm saying. I'm experiencing every single thing they experience, and I still am a great guy.
I know,
I
amazing.
got teased so bad in middle school, called like fucking all these lesbian slurs, when I was so scared for that to happen again that like I got a boyfriend and I like did everything I was supposed to do. I dressed feminine and I was like, I'm not dealing with that. And that was another thing. I like remember my sisters being like, why don't you have sex with your boyfriend? And being like, oh, like, so I did that thinking that that was gonna help like show I'm straight and cis and all these things. And then I got pregnant. If puberty
shit.
felt wrong, pregnancy was puberty on steroids. It wasn't until after I gave birth that like then it really started hitting me why that was so miserable for me. I felt like I was dying. Like I remember like
That's
my
not
sister
good.
had been pregnant really close
The
to
idea of being pregnant makes me very dysphoric too. And the idea of like having a newborn baby is like very shitty. Like, I have a baby in the family right now, and like it starts crying, and I'm like, I need to leave.
And she was like loving it. And I was like, I do not feel that.
Do you think that part of the reason that your sisters were able to enjoy it was because it felt like, you know, part of the process to motherhood, to
Yes.
womanhood?
And if I felt so the opposite way, of course that felt so wrong for me. Like if you got any man and they were pregnant, they would feel so weird.
How has seeing your journey shaped your child's perspective of gender and societal norms?
As young as
Just this music is so dramatic. Have you noticed? Like, come on, calm down.
a baby, I started doing gender neutral parenting. The problem with that was that they were raised in a split home and they had so many family members that everyone else would undo what I was doing. They would come home from like their other parents' house with like Barbies and pink dresses and all these
Yeah,
things.
that's
So
like
then
the difficult thing about trying to raise a child gender neutral is like, is it even possible to do it with the fact that like everyone else in their life is gonna inflict that on them? And is it reasonable for you as a parent to say, if you do that to my child, like you're not gonna see them anymore? You know, like that's how I have assumed that I would approach that in the future. But like with the dysphoria stuff and everything, like I don't know if I would ever have a kid or if I would rather adopt anyway, you know.
I had to almost step back a little bit and be like, I don't want to seem like the parent that's then trying to take these things from you.
Yeah.
So by the time
that's so
I came
shit.
out as trans, they were very like not shocked, and it wasn't this like, oh my god, my parents going from a mom to a dad. They were kind of like, yeah, you've always been masculine. You've always been, I thought maybe non-binary or whatever it is. So this actually makes sense.
Oh, that's
Has
cool.
your parenting
That feels
style
good.
evolved with your gender, mother versus father? Like, is there a different way that you parent?
Maybe if someone was watching it from the outside, maybe they would see subtle differences.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've always felt like this brain was my brain. And I've asked Arlo this. I was like, did you notice a difference? And Arlo was like, no, you're exactly the same.
Right.
I've asked Arlo too.
That's
I've asked,
cool.
like,
That's a
"Do
good
you ever
feeling."
miss having a mom, like now you have two dads. Not at all. You're the same to me. Like you're the same parent. You're the same person. Your outside just matches your inside.
Do you feel like you missed
Oh, that's
out
really sweet.
on your childhood as a boy?
Oh god, this is gonna suck. Ah, we're gonna cry.
Definitely. You already feel like you go through a second puberty because of the hormones. 100%. Like I deal with everything like a 13, 14.
Your voice started cracking?
You name it.
Yeah.
It's there.
We heard a lot about the butt hair.
I didn't get that, but like.
Lucky you!
I like didn't get very hairy. Like some of my friends have like beards, and I'm like, this is the most I can grow. A lot
no.
of people would be like, oh, you're so like immature, you act young, or like whatever. And it's like I don't even care when people say that to me. It's like because I'm finally getting to do things that like I never got to do.
How important is it to you to be passable, for other people to see you as a man without you having to say anything?
Okay. What the fuck,
Parts
cheater, no
of
butt hair?
passing that I didn't experience when I was younger, you know, to be able to have that now, people using, you know, he, him pronouns, people calling me sir or bro.
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 Bruh.
Bruh.
Is it
Bruh.
just as much a mental transition as it could
Apparently masculine people are fucking idiots because we all just if one person says bro, we all go bruh, bruh, bruh. Oh, I've just revealed myself to be a fucking himbo.
be a physical one?
Everything on the inside feels exactly the same.
So this meat bag was wrong.
Yeah. The skin suit.
Skin suit, the meat
I
bag
always
went
call it a
wrong.
skin suit because for me, I remember growing up and feeling like literally like I was in a bad costume.
Yeah.
Like a tight, wrong, ill-fitting, hot, uncomfortable, miserable costume.
What's been the most difficult part about transitioning to a man? You could.
Uh-oh. What's been the most difficult part? Male
I'm gonna
privilege.
be honest, it's a lot easier than being a woman, so I don't have a lot of complaints. Male privilege is real.
It's real.
It's real, and I've got it.
It's real. Male privilege is f***ing real. Confirmed.
Male
Confirmed.
privilege is real.
Is it real?
Men and women treat me better. People respect my like thoughts more. That's sad.
It's kind of fucked up.
It is very fucked up.
Nobody like sexualizes me anymore. Or even when I was a lesbian, it was so many straight men being like, oh, lesbians are hot. I also don't feel as like scared walking alone.
True.
Even how like, let's say I'm in a group at a party. I think other men will like direct questions and things towards me instead of like the girls next to me. Pretty much everything that I saw when I was a female presenting person and was like, hey, that's not fair. I'm seeing now from the other side.
True.
Do you have any kind of averse reaction when someone uses your dead name?
Dead name and
And
pronouns.
you know I can't go without thanking BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode.
People treat me better in voice chats. However, I don't talk to many people IRL as of right now.
Therapy has helped reframe my view of the
Oh,
world
BetterHelp.
and myself by allowing me to feel empathy for my younger self.
Are we gonna do long better help?
Anxiety,
Come on.
phones, a
I get it, I
less-
get it.
H-E
So I chose
Okay.
.com/Padilla.
Okay.
Now, back to the world of trans men.
Thank you.
my dead name was the name that I had before transition. So I chose my name when I transitioned. And
Do people who detransition have a coma name? That's pretty funny, Quantum Cactus.
we changed it. But the name that I was given at birth by my parents is my dead name. I think that for me, I see my entire life leading up to my transition associated with that name. To hear it does definitely bring up feelings of the anxiety and the suppression that I felt.
Penrose says, yeah, I've noticed passing makes people less inclined to find me annoying. Mind you, I still achieve being annoying. It's just more difficult. You definitely have more leeway when you're masculine presenting to be annoying.
Pretending to be a different person. So it takes me back to that space in my mind, and it can be pretty stressful.
How important are pronouns to you?
Pronouns are everything. And yeah, I mean, honestly, if you don't refer to me as he, him, like, I'll call you out. You know, because why are you doing that? I've kind of been living a stealth life. So like stealth is when you don't like openly tell people, I guess, that you're trans. I mean, we're on this video.
Is there anything you want to say to anyone watching who is finding out for the very first time today that knows you in person?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's family out there. Bonjour, comment ça va?
Oh no.
Have you
Oh
ever
no.
been any kind of backlash?
Bonjour, comment ça va? He's like, hello, what's up? That's pretty good.
Your identity?
Yes, I mean, so I documented my transition on YouTube. I've had a lot of people seek me out to use as an example against me and against trans people. I was the subject of a book. So she had a whole chapter on influencers, and I was one of them that was mentioned as a trans YouTuber. The main idea
True.
was that trans guys...
I was
are
not mentioned in this book, I don't think, but I know about the book. It's the Irreversible Damage book that they're talking about.
victims of misogyny in society, so we think we can't be women, so we have to transition to men in order to be happy. And that it comes in packs, like it comes in waves. If we have a trans friend, there's like some kind of social contagion element to it.
Like it is a religion to be converted to.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you ever get asked, you know, what if this is all just a phase?
All the time, online and in real life. In the beginning, a lot. A lot of people think they're just thought about it, like because of what's going on in the world.
Right.
Like maybe I watched Euphoria or like, you know, whatever it is, and like, oh, I was like, oh, maybe I'm trans. Like, no.
What about being in a relationship with someone who is so openly feminine and a woman? Is there any kind of backlash that you get for that?
There was a lot of really transphobic comments, 100%.
And what do you boil that down to?
I think those people are deep down so miserable.
True.
So, like, literally, what is your life like that you're sitting at home trying to hurt people on the internet?
True.
I mean, it comes from a place of wanting others to feel as bad about themselves as they do themselves. So there's really no reason that you would spend that time and energy caring about something that you have no connection to.
Yeah, exactly. I always say the same thing. There is absolutely no way that person is happy. So I feel bad for you because I am happy.
How do you feel about teens transition?
Uh-oh, it's gonna get saucy here. Hopefully it's gonna
Well,
be fine.
I transitioned as a teen, so I'm a little biased.
I think that answers that question.
I think that there is a ton of conversation being held about the way that they phrase it is kids having surgeries and going on hormones, which just doesn't happen. You know, if you have a trans kid who's like 11 or 12, the process is difficult. I mean, for me, when I started therapy, he had to make sure that I had been out as a trans guy, had been living as a guy for almost a year before I started. And then after that, it was a referral to, you know, a hormone specialist, and even that's a process.
Teenagers, no matter what we're talking about, have a lot of growth and phases to do. So I think anything that's super, super permanent could possibly be not the best for like a very young teenager. Obviously tread carefully, but at the same time, we're literally losing kids to this, to not being able to transition and to not express themselves how they want to. So I do think there's ways for them to do that and kind of do it in maybe what I guess you could call baby steps.
What about detransitioning? We hear a lot about detransitioners.
The thing about detransitioners is that, and I think it's really blown out of proportion.
True.
Unfortunately, the most common reason that a person detransitions is because their environment socially is unaccepting and they can't continue to live as a trans person they have to go back into the closet in order to be accepted, in order to keep their jobs or keep their housing or
True.
whatever it is, keep
This
their
part
relationship
sucks.
with their family. Their life is so much worse, not because of how they feel about themselves, but because of how people are treating them for being trans.
If you could give a message to your younger self, any advice or anything to you before you fully grasp the fact that you are trans, is there anything that you'd want to
I didn't really have a lot to say about the detransition section. I just want to say, like, I never considered it. Like, I have never once in my life considered like detransitioning, even when I'm like not on hormones right now, but I'm still trans. Like, I've been trans since like I first realized it when I was like 14 or 15, you know. I just at no point have I been like, I'm gonna detransition since I actually came out to other people.
say to yourself?
It's not weird that you were a girl wanting a mustache. You're weird for other reasons, but not for that.
You're weird for other reasons, but
You
not for
have
that.
Parents that are supportive, and life is gonna be okay, and it's not as scary as you think.
What is it about being trans that brings you the most joy?
Honestly, this is gonna sound so cheesy, but it's just the community. No matter
True.
where you are on the acronym, you have a lot of similar feelings, and it's just such an easy thing to meet a queer person and just connect. It's just like you can go around a queer person and it's like you've always known them.
Yeah.
I spent a day
That is a
with
great
trans
thing about
men,
trans
and
people.
one thing that really sits with me is how being taught to suppress something that we so strongly link with our identity can also cause us to suppress the amount of joy that we're capable of experiencing. In order to enjoy life to its
So
fullest,
dramatic
we
with
may
the
need to
music.
take a step back and determine which of the beliefs that we have are our own and which were forced upon us.
True. All right, now we're done. Now we're done with the video, I think. All right. Calm down, Anthony Padilla, with your extremely... Oh, wait, hold on. There's bloopers or whatever. Hold on, there's bloopers.
You've so deeply embraced your place within the queer community that you now have a podcast as well, right?
Yes, so I have a podcast coming out. It's called Questicles. It is a chaotic queer D&D podcast.
Oh, that's cool.
Questicles. You heard it right.
Questicles. Okay, I'm trying to think about the quest to gain testicles.
Well, it's most like Chronicles and Questicles, so I don't know where your mind is going. I don't know, that's
Weird.
weird. Do you think other people will make that mistake?
Oh, let's talk about manhood.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, that was pretty funny. All right, I enjoyed. Yeah, I feel like that was pretty tastefully done, you know? Like, no, I don't have any issues with that or anything. Like, it was definitely like an interesting look into what life is like for a couple specific trans men. I always like Ty, always like seeing Ty around on the interwebs. He's a cool dude. I would be his friend if he would let me. I could message him probably, I just don't. Yeah, but like, I don't think I've ever watched Anthony Padilla before now. That's he's fine. Like, he's good. Seems pretty chill. What I need to do is I need to have someone, I need to get on Ethan Klein's show so that I can answer like all of the most risque questions about trans people's genitals and surgery and stuff. Because I think that would be fun. That's what I need to do. That's what my special interest is about. I can't do one of these kind of like nice person interviews without like you know, calling myself a tranny or something, you know, like, yeah, Morningstar System. I remember you all posting, we had that video. It might still be there posted in that Discord server, the video about DID that he did, that Anthony Padilla did, as like this is a good place to start if you don't know anything about DID. I watched his travel blog thingy about going to LA for this. Yeah, I did watch Ty Turner's vlog. I watched it first, which is how I think I even knew about this Anthony Padilla video. So, yep, honorary trans man Anthony Padilla, according to Ty Turner. Yeah. Tried to find the shark at IKEA, but they were out of stock. Rip. Am I weird as a trans person for not wanting the shark? I just have no desire to have the shark. Although I do want to get more, like I do want to do more stuffed animals. Like that is one thing that I would like for myself. I'm thinking ahead of like, oh, when I move into my new place, by the way, exclamation point move. If you want to help with the GoFundMe for the moving, if you're here and you weren't here earlier and you didn't know that I am separating from my partner and moving into my own place and I need some help with but ideally once I am moved into my own place and I'm just doing my regular income and saving money and buying myself shit stuff, I want to get stuffed animals. Like I want more stuffed animals in my bed and stuff. I have a Stitch right now. That's like the main stuffed animal that I have right now is I have a Stitch doll. Yeah, I'm doing surprisingly okay. We're still friends at the very minimum. So mostly the big thing is just like we need to live in different places. So we're doing that. Like I think that video was like really fucking sad because the entire trans experience. Yeah, I mean the entire trans experience it's got its ups and its downs. It's got its difficulties, you know. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about living in a new place. I think it's going to be great. Having the opportunity to like listen, my partner has like smell induced migraines, so I have to be really particular about like when I burn candles. I can't burn incense at all whatsoever. As far as I'm aware. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to burn candles in my new spot. I'll put up a bunch of colored lights because my partner also has headaches that are sometimes triggered by like colored lights and like because they flash at a lower rate, you know? Anyway. It's going to be good, I think. I hope. I'm trying to keep a positive attitude about it. Like it's still not my choice. It's still not the thing that I wanted to do, but like I'm just trying to be chill about it. The video was too relatable and inspiring, I guess. It was very nice, but I couldn't watch that. Oh, sorry. Being trans is like kind of inherently depressing thanks to cis people in no small part, but I could not watch that and be depressed. The video was too relatable and inspiring. Yeah, I enjoyed it. They managed to keep things moving pace-wise. Oh my gosh. Oh, what's up, CJ? Haven't seen you in a bit. CJ in the YouTube chat says, I wonder, as we've had conversations about it, but like with pronouns and neopronouns, I'm hoping to clarify how someone best describes them. How do you not think trans is too big of an umbrella term? I don't think so. Can't wait for incense smoky flashing colored light streams then. I don't want them to be too flashy. It's just like listen here, look at this. We'll do it on this one. So when I put the lights on this particular, you can see it. You can see the flashing on the camera. Like the light is like flickering, right? I don't actually like that. But like to my naked eye, I can't really tell. So I just don't want it to show up on camera that way. You know what I mean? There we go. Yeah, I think it would be a little bit too much. But I have other lights that don't go at that frequency that would be easier to use. Anyway. But sorry, anyway, CJ, do you not think trans is too big of an umbrella term? So I think that it's possible to make distinctions if you need to. Like, I think that trans people as a whole all fundamentally have the same experience of feeling alienated from the gender that they were assigned at birth. So even if that person is like a non-binary person who doesn't physically transition at all, they still experience being alienated from their assigned gender, you know? So there are distinctions in between the group. You could say dysphoric trans people versus non-dysphoric trans people. Like, or you could say, you know, you could even make the transsexual distinction if you wanted to. Although, like, debate on the definition of transsexual, because I would say I've changed my sex substantially enough that I qualify as transsexual. I've started calling myself transsexual. I'm non-binary and transsexual, you know? So like trans just refers to any person who feels alienated from their assigned gender, like in the sense that they don't identify with it. You know, like there are women who feel oppressed by womanhood as a construct, but who still identify as woman and want to forge a type of womanhood that they can feel comfortable in. Trans people don't generally like really want to set up shop in the gender that they feel oppressed by, you know, like that's the fundamental difference, right? I make the transsexual distinction. I've transed my gender plenty, but it isn't the primary point of my transition. I'm not dysphoric about my gender. I'm dysphoric about my sex. That's totally fair. Yeah. I have a friend who is also non-binary and transsexual. I actually just tweeted like earlier today about like, this morning I was like, I am a transsexual who's given up on gender, like, which is kind of funny. Kara in the YouTube chat says, then there is me being a non-binary who had transitioned before. You were binary and now you're more, you were binary, now you're non-binary. That's always cool. My original transition went that way too. Like, not like I socially transitioned thinking like, I'm probably male. I've seen too much sunlight today. Time to enter torpor before I take aggravated damage. See y'all later. Good night, Slaps Hungry Bears. Thank you all for your thank you for all of your donos this week. They're massively appreciated. Definitely going to help me out in the future as we continue this process. So thank you and good night. Enjoy the hibernation. Yup. So I think everything is going okay, all things considered, you know? I took some Adderall earlier today to try to like kick things going with my productivity, and then I proceeded to get super fucking anxious instead, which is always cool too. What's up, Christy? How's it going? Welcome in. I'm non-binary and transmasc. It's an oddball place to be, but I love it. I consider myself transmasc, even though I don't actually want to present myself as masculine most of the time. I consider myself transmasc by virtue of what my transition has been like. Like, I'm non-binary and transmasculine and a femboy. Like, all of those things are words that apply to me. We're kind of winding down a little bit. We're at least in between tasks right now. But if you're here and you have not yet hit the like button, consider hitting the like button really quick. It helps the channel. Might bring in a couple more people to find us. If you haven't subscribed, why are you even here? I'm a transmasc non-binary femme guy. True. Yeah, intentions, I've noticed that you say femme guy and not femboy. I respect the fine, minute distinctions. Like, otherwise, mostly similar stuff. Honestly, like, would you say that Nasty the character is, like, your self-insert character? Because if so, I'm like, I think I feel the vibes of your gender from across the Twitter porn, you know? I'm a fembro. bro. Yeah. Okay. Then if that's the case, then I feel the vibes of your gender from across the wavelengths. Because Nasty is very very hot. I like. It's a good character. Hollow is femboy. True, bruh. True. All right. A fembro, i.e. a Dirk Strider on estrogen. I'm some kind of gender goop. Gender goop. That sounds like gender goop. Is that like another word for cum? That's, you know, I should be fired. I need to be yeeted out of a cannon into the sun. I should be fired. Gender ferrofluid, maybe. Like, either I should be fired or a horrendous comment like that deserves a $5 dono. You know, like, either one. Like, either I deserve to be fired or I deserve more money. I don't know which one it is. I do think the term fits, but those that do not understand, not sure it helps conversation. I mean, CJ, do you feel that it's a huge barrier? Like... I mean, I think that most people may assume that you mean like a trans person who's transitioning medically. I don't know how much it's really how much time is it really taking away in the conversation for you to make a distinction, like, Or like how often do you, CJ, find yourself in conversations where you're having to explain what a non-dysphoric, non-transitioning trans person is, you know? I'll give you some gender fluid. True. What's up, Northern Angler? How's it going? Okay, thank you, Timerinia. Thank you for the $5 dono. Here you go, some gender cum. True. I'm gross, and now you've given me an intermittent reward for being gross. How dare you? How could you do such a thing? It's just gonna make it happen more often. This chat is just gonna become more and more completely like inaccessible to asexuals. Like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh no. Oh no. A pool filled with cum jello. Yeah, that sounds terrible. That does not sound good. How, I mean, like, is there enough water content in cum to make jello? It would be so thick. It would be so thick. I'm definitely going to get demonetized for that. That's what the donations help with. That donations help with when I get the channel demonetized, because I won't stop talking about cum and fucking wolf dicks and shit. Terrible. I just want to be a goop, okay? Oh no. Oh no. I mean, I know wolf dicks are based. Hollow is a goop. I mean, once upon a time we were all goop. Squirted out of the pebis. Yeah, true, Anansi. Thick cum jello. Wolf dicks, that's naughty. True. Entering monster fucker territory. I mean, you're right at home with that, aren't you, Intentions? I don't want to leave behind a world where trans guys or anyone really don't have an option to get canine phalloplasty. Yeah, Northern Angler, we talked about in RGR yesterday, actually, I think. Knotted Dog Cum Jello has to be the title of my sex tape. You were once your daddy's little squirt. It's true. This is horrible. This is horrendous. Why do I let this happen? Dog dicks in general are really small, but if you just want a little pebis. Oh no, is that why dads call their kids squirt? No, I've never thought about that. I hope it's not true. No, oh no, I'm so upset. Oh my God, no. This has escalated quickly. I'm fine with my bottom growth, thank you. Yeah. Squirtle forever ruined. Oh no, Lillian. Oh no. It's a coup. What's happening right now is a coup. Chat is taking over. This is a coup. The way T dickifies a clit. True. Oh boy. This is a nightmare. What have you all done to me? What have you will have done to me? Horny chat time. True. Oh my gosh. Okay, you know what? I have I'm like so busy during the day and I have a lot of shit to do. I've appreciated you all being here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up here and get some lunch and do some more dishes and other chores around the house. So thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate you. Yeah, well, it's been real, but peace, you know, like I'm a head out, you know, I'm a head out, you know. Now that we've destroyed your monetization, it's time for stream to end. True. I did, you know what? The $5 dono right at the end there, like at least made it up. At least made up for it. At least made up for the demonetization. Are you uploading the VOD from yesterday? I am extremely behind on uploading VODs. I am working on catching up. You can still get the link to it from my Twitter. If you go to my Twitter and you, or is that the case? I don't actually know if that's the case. On the Discord server, if you join the Discord, you'll get notifications whenever I go live. And from the Discord, you could check out the streams if I have not yet uploaded them to the VOD channel. So, yes, join the disc horde. True. Friendly reminder. Oh, Baphomet, are we doing friendly reminder? Oh yeah. Check out Nasty's Twitter. But also, if you have a funny video that you want me to react to, go to the Discord and post it in Slay the Dragon, okay? And then Baphomet will take your suggestions and put them together so that I can watch them all together, right? So, cool. All right. Peace and love, everybody. I appreciate you. Have a good long weekend. I may not see you on Tuesday. I might not see you again until like next week on Thursday or maybe Wednesday, because I am having a minor surgical procedure done on my inside of my mouth. So it's not dentistry, but I may or may not be on stream that day. So okay. Peace and love.